Welcome to Drawfee, where we take your dumb ideas
and make even dumber drawings.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Karina.
And I'm Julia.
And today we are venturing into the great unknown of Drawfee, unless you're Julia.
Yay.
We're doing backgrounds today, and it won't just be a single color gradient.
It won't be a solid single shape.
Yeah, it won't be a solid single shape. We've challenged ourselves to draw actual like backgrounds or scenes or landscapes, basically just something without people in it, ideally.
Ideally.
So these are speed draws. We've already drawn all the pictures to varying results. I'm excited to see how everybody did. Nathan, you want to go first?
I want to go first.
Great. Do you want to give us any preface before I click play?
I don't know if I was successful in what I set out to do, but I still think I learned something.
That's
Well, that's
good.
the important thing.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can talk about it while it's going.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
So I gave myself a style mashup challenge.
Oh, look at this.
And I decided I wanted to try drawing the planet Namek from Dragon Ball Z in the style of Steven Universe backgrounds.
Oh.
It's already looking like it.
Yeah.
I find those I just find those super duper pleasant to look at. And so yeah, like that was what I was going for. I don't know if it super 100% it definitely reads as Namek. I don't know if it's like Steven Universe influenced, but it's hard when the sky is green. It's hard when the sky is green, is what I learned.
Yeah.
As the old saying goes.
Well, so far it feels very Steven Universe.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun just sort of like trying to figure out composition with this one, because that's something I've wanted to work on. I noticed that y'all always do interesting things with the sort of composition and balance of the pieces, and I get stuck in just like the character design portion. So since there wasn't any characters to design, I really got to think about just sort of the whole flow of the piece, which was cool.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's looking really nice just in the sketch phase. It's like a layout.
Thank you.
I also think that it's an important thing for people to learn is that a good way to learn how to do backgrounds is to emulate a style of backgrounds you like. If you're uncomfortable with doing backgrounds, that's a perfectly valid way to learn.
Yeah, I took this as a learning exercise because it really is very outside of my comfort zone. And I just really like the way those backgrounds look. And so I was like, well, even if it isn't successful, I'll at least have tried to do some of those things and like see how close I get to replicating how it looks. Mm-hmm. I got to try some brushes that I'm not used to using.
Your lines look really nice.
This looks so nice.
Thank you.
Very pleasant to look at, just like all Steven Universe.
Soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Kyle, I believe. It's one of the cartoon inkers that I used.
Oh yeah, I like those.
And now I'm just flatting in some of the colors.
I do want to lick these mountains.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little. Because they look like they'd taste good.
They look like little cupcakes, little baked goods with frosting.
It's just, like the...
There's that green.
Yeah.
It's hard when the sky is green.
It's hard when the sky is green. It's like, it kind of enters into like Dr. Seuss territory a little bit. It's also, just because a little bit of DBZ lore, the planet Namek has 3 suns. So I had no idea what to do with lighting.
Yeah, it's just
That
everywhere.
means there's no rules, baby.
Yeah, that's basically what I did, is I just, I used some, these are some Sergei Kolosov brushes. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but they're brushes that my brother recommended.
Oh, nice.
To use.
Yeah, I like it. It's very, very toothy.
Yeah.
Want to bite into that?
I wanted to get a little toothy.
I want to eat this.
I wanted to make something that would make you try and eat your computer, Jacob. That
Well,
was
you succeeded.
my secret goal here. with this.
No, it's cool to see you trying out like these rougher, more painterly brushes. I know that's like kind of outside of your normal.
Oh, very outside. Yeah, I mean, this took me about 3 hours to do, and at the end of 3 hours, I was just like, I'm just gonna say I'm done. And
Sometimes you gotta call it.
Yeah.
Or else
Yeah.
you're working on it forever and then you wind up overworking it.
Oh, I love those reflections. Those are very Steven Universe.
yeah, I love the way that that they do water.
Yeah.
And I had a ton of references pulled up for this.
I think I found that same stack of Steven Universe references when I was researching. Was it on
Yeah.
like Imgur or something?
Oh, I just pulled a bunch of references and like made a little collage in the other window.
I found like a giant list of like every Steven Universe background.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't end up using any of them for reference, but it was cool to look at.
Oh, I love the multitudes of shadow.
Yeah, it's really
just-
giving it some more depth.
More.
I was really just like throwing anything at the canvas and yeah, doing some color balance stuff. I ended up getting rid of those highlight leaves because they weren't really working for me. I went back in and did a few more lines, and now I move on to the sky.
Oh yeah, we can get those clouds in there.
Can get those real marshmallowy clouds.
Yeah. Tasty friends.
I love the flat
Tasty
bottoms
friends.
on clouds.
Yeah, like they're just sitting on the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What do you need 3 suns for?
Don't give 2020 any ideas, please. Let's keep it at 1.
Tried using a blur brush on like some of the outsides, and then I just went ahead and copied the layers and added blurs to
Sky
them.
streaks.
Love it.
Yeah,
So
they end up
many.
becoming like very subtle. And then I tried that, and I didn't like how that looked. So then I just made some big clouds
Ooh.
over there, and I moved some
Makes
of
it
the
very
clouds
dreamy,
around.
putting those bottom
Yeah.
clouds on.
Oh, little Steven Universe stars.
Oh, got him.
Yeah.
You gotta have them. You gotta have them in there. And then what I do is I make these little streakies that they have.
Oh yeah, they do have those.
Oh,
That looks so good.
That's
I love
then-
that.
And then what I did was I flattened the foreground and background and did a color balance to bring up the blues in the foreground and the yellows in the background.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I was like, I actually want the water to be more blue. And I also I did a couple little touch-ups. Yeah, made the water a little more blue.
Photoshop's so
And
nice.
There you go.
Oh,
That
that
looks
looks
you know,
great.
wonderful.
So cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, I learned from doing it. There may be like stuff I would do differently next time, but it was a fun challenge to try.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean that's the only way to learn that stuff. Like
Absolutely.
what you would
Yeah.
do differently next time by doing it.
I like these challenges because they force me to do things that I want to do, but I'm always like, oh, I'll do it later. But
Yeah.
then
Right.
when I
Later
have to
is
do
now.
it, then I just do it.
Do
Yeah.
it for content.
Totally. This turned out great. Awesome
Yeah.
work.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that sky. And the shapes of the hills are so cool. Great
It's
work.
just so pleasing. Everything about it.
Yeah, it's very pleasant.
Thank you. Yeah.
Is
Green
it
sky is hard, but yeah.
yeah. But it's cool. I think it worked out.
Thank you.
I guess I'm gonna go next
Okay.
because I think Karina probably did a much better job than me. So we're gonna ramp up like at a reasonable rate here. But I think I probably did a worse job than Nathan, so maybe I should have gone first.
No, it's not a competition.
It is a competition.
We're
It's
all
every
not.
time we
learning
draw.
together.
No, of course we're all learning together, and I had like a super rough time with this because backgrounds are like my big time weakness, and also I suggested this episode. So last
Yeah, you
night I was
did.
like, I'm such an idiot. I'm such a stupid idiot. But I think I was letting my fear get the best of me, my fear of like doing it. So I included a couple of like failed attempts in here as well. Because I was really struggling last night and I really thought that it was all trash. And then I watched it back today and I was like, actually, both of those probably could have been fine if I had just continued and not stopped. And then the one I did today came out pretty easily and I thought it was pretty cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into it.
Great.
3, 2, 1, go. So I knew from the outset that I needed to do something simple since I'm not good at backgrounds. So I was like, I need to keep it relatively geometric and simple so that I don't overwhelm myself.
I like these Oh, it's a church.
So I started with this like little church piece here, and I made it like I was going to take you to church. So I was going to make it kind of like this vertically oriented, churchy looking friend. And with like kind of a purple orange color aesthetic.
That's cool.
And I ended up liking how it came out, but last night I didn't.
In the moment.
Yeah, you were really
not
beating
pleased.
yourself up last night about this whole thing.
So with both of these first attempts, I did kind of like the sketch essentially, and then stopped and tried something else. So I just kind of gave up on them.
I think there is value in seeing, in seeing like stuff that you didn't feel work, whether or not it could have worked.
Yeah, but also this is really nice.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I ended up liking it. It's just
At the time, you didn't.
I was in one of those moods.
What was that big square brush you were using?
That's Dave Greco's brush. Artist Dave Greco. On this one, I had a thumbnail that I forgot to record. And I kind of got in the idea. I wanted to do like a value sort of version of it first. But I got in the idea of like having this person sort of looking out over these dunes, and there's like a floating islandy thing in the distance.
Ooh.
That had kind of like some waterfalls and some like lights going off on it.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
So I do end up sticking with the idea of a floating island thing for the final piece.
Nice. Oh, a little lighthouse on there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But this is one that I also gave up on.
I mean, these are just fun. I mean, yeah, like
now I think it's a fun little example. But
oh, look at these curves.
Yeah,
I was
I'm glad we
hitting
do
the
get to
curves.
see these ones.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
It's cool to see the whole process.
Yeah, and also I just wanted people watching, because it's so easy to struggle with this stuff and be like you have a couple snags and you're like, well, I'm never gonna be able to do it, and so you give up.
Yeah.
But if you push on, you can usually manage to make something happen.
If we recorded all of my sketches, my whole recording, smushed into 7 minutes would be just a blur. I didn't, it's just like you sometimes you really go through some trial and error.
Yeah. You could see me messing with like all sorts of colors here and just like painting stuff on. I was trying to get an idea for what colors I wanted to use, but nothing was really grabbing me. So that was when I got sad and stopped. On this one, I forgot to start recording again until this point.
Classic.
When I had already drawn this floating island lighthouse thing. But you get to see the rest of the sketch process. I knew I wanted it to be kind of a downward angle where you're like kind of on level with this floating lighthouse and you're looking down over like the sea with the clouds and some islands in the distance.
Is this the one you ended up keeping?
Yes.
Okay,
Nice.
cool.
So this ends up being the real one.
Damn. Back at it again with the lineless.
Yeah, I really wanted to do lineless for some reason. I was not in the mood to ink.
That's so valid. And it always looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this time I decided to go with sort of a more geometric, like lasso style. So I flat everything in really geometrically, and then I use a real chunky, nasty brush to texture sort of everything.
That's cool.
One other thing I wanted to point out for people who might be watching this and struggling with stuff like color, you'll notice that I don't ever a single time put down a color that I end up keeping. I'm so bad at color.
Again, valid.
I literally just put in a color and then futz with it until it looks right. I've never laid down a color that I liked from the get-go.
And when I took a digital...
Like,
I took a digital coloring class at SVA and as like part of their continuing education program, and like that was like the big lesson was like you just when you're flatting stuff in, just put any color. You can always go back and adjust it.
Totally.
If you're doing Photoshop.
Sometimes you got to see it to really know.
Yeah.
You have an idea and then you put it down and you're like, oh, this is garbage.
Yeah.
It like fully changed the way I thought about coloring stuff.
It's much
Because I
nicer.
would-
Takes the
I would
pressure
spend
off.
yeah, I would spend so much time trying to pick the right color to put in, and it's like, no, you can just go to go to hue saturation and like see how it looks relative to everything else.
Yeah.
Go straight up to color replace.
Totally. Yeah.
Nothing is forever.
Yeah, you'll see me flipping through all sorts of layers and things. But once I got these gradients in, I ended up kind of enjoying the whole composition a lot more.
This is real nice.
So yeah, then I'm chunking in with this. This is, again, Dave Greco's main brush. His brushes are free also. If you go to his channel, in his video descriptions, he's got all of his brushes available for free. Highly recommend. I really enjoy his brush for like painting stuff.
This is his Twitch channel?
YouTube.
Or his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Great.
Probably on a Switch channel too. Yeah, so then I kind of chunked in some cloudy things.
I love the term chunked in.
Well, that's what I'm doing. Like, I was specifically thinking, like, I don't really like to do heavy detail.
Yeah.
And I was like, how can I make it look like textured and like there's feel to it without having to draw a bazillion lines?
Right.
Yeah.
So I ended up being really happy with that aspect of it.
It's
Now
reminding me of like an Edward Hopper.
I don't know who that is.
Wow.
All right.
This is sci-fi Edward Hopper.
This is sci-fi
You know all
Edward
those
Hopper.
paintings like of just people sitting alone in like diners and their apartments?
That's Edward Hopper.
I'm sure
That's
I
Edward
would know
Hopper.
if I saw.
Yeah, you absolutely know.
Yes.
You can see me doing some levels and curves adjustments here too to make the colors
now
pop.
we're getting somewhere. Ooh, it's so warm now.
Yeah, it's going to go away, but it'll come back.
Okay.
Because I realized that I wanted to push back the background a bit so that there was a little more depth to the whole piece.
Right.
So like it faded as things went into the distance. So I added a white gradient at low opacity over the top to sort of push things back. And then I re-add the curves to make it warm. And then I add a couple little glows. And that's the
Wow.
end
Well,
piece.
So nice.
Jacob, I wanna lick that lighthouse. So we're just gonna have to lick each other's drawings.
Yeah, so that's the final one. I ended up being really happy with it overall. I think it looks really nice.
It is very
So
nice.
Cool.
And, it kind of looks like maybe like a video game concept
Yeah.
or something.
I think
Right.
when you did that second thumbnail, which did lead to this one, I was thinking, what's that one game? Journey?
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely some Journey vibes.
Game I know very little about, but it had the vibe.
But it had the
vibed.
feel.
Yeah.
And that's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like this one took me like an hour total.
Wow.
So I was really glad to get something done in time for this recording because that was today.
We all procrastinated. It was beautiful.
Yeah. That's it for me. Karina, are you ready to do
cool.
yours?
Yeah.
You want to give us some insight before we get going here?
Sure. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I kind of snapped on this one.
We all have that one.
Because the fun thing about being in a global pandemic is that I'm bored and frustrated a lot. So I wanted to really give myself a challenge just to feel something.
Wow.
And that's what I did.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to see it.
And sorry if it plays really fast. I spent 8 hours on this piece.
Wow.
Oh, this is going to be legit.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to count it in. 3, 2, 1, go.
So I wanted to do an interior because I don't like doing those, but I think they're really cool. And I wanted to kind of focus on the storytelling aspect of a background because I think that's super important, like set design shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do this room, and how I got to this point is there's this one page in Black Sad, who's a comic whose art I adore all the time, that kind of has this similar angle, and I wanted to kind of try and like reach that. So
I'm already so stressed out looking at this.
and that was also just I wanted to feel something. So I wanted to feel like I could remember my one semester of perspective class. So I took this page that I really like, and I actually just redlined it to find where the vanishing points were in his drawing and use that as reference to where to put them in my drawing. So this is basically 1 point perspective, but I put it on this sort of tilted grid that kind of makes it a little less clinical because I don't really like, pure perspective. But it also kind of adds another couple points secretly. Way off in
Drawing
the
so many
distance.
objects.
Yeah.
So many objects. Oh my god.
I feel like a thing that is important for people to know too, to jump back to you saying you redlined the original piece.
Yeah.
That's like super important for learning art.
Yeah, like
It's like redlining and figuring out the structure of other people's art.
because like I don't usually do backgrounds, just out of sheer laziness more than anything. So it's kind of hard to wrap my head around like this is an angle I had in mind. Where should I start? So I just did that as a reference point.
Oh my God, is it Hawkeye PI?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
God.
Yes.
It's their office.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
But yeah.
Good.
So yeah, this is why I wasn't answering Discord messages last night.
Yeah, I can see why.
so not only did you give yourself a huge challenge, but you made it incredibly personal to you
Yeah.
by putting your characters in it. Oh my gosh.
I just
So
thought
many
it'd be
little
fun.
things.
Because then it
Was it
goes
fun?
back to set design of, what you see tells you also about the characters.
Yeah.
Bazinga. I did have fun with it. It was, I do this fun thing when I draw anything that requires any form of precision where I enter a permanent hunch, so my back really hurts today. But other than that, I had a great time. Once I
You
figured
injured
out
yourself.
how to do it.
For this really good drawing.
But yeah.
Wow.
I'm so excited to see what you do with like colors.
Yeah. I want to see the lighting.
Because like thinking about coloring this is making me want to barf.
Yeah.
Look, it
Did
was
you
this
barf?
or play 10 more hours of Animal Crossing. It's one or the other.
Fair.
8 hours of drawing equal 10 hour of Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
That math checks out.
Oh, got a little Jansport over there.
Hell yeah.
That's not a Jansport. That's like that one you have. The backpack you
It's
have.
the one with
So-
the little diamond. I don't
Yeah.
know.
it a
Yeah, my
Targus?
little topo bag.
Is that a topo? Targus?
I have a topo.
topo.
Get yourself a topo. Oh, and this standing position,
Yeah.
the
Damn.
perspective on that.
Oh my god.
I'm glad you
Lord
think
save
so.
me.
I will say, without pointing anything out, that there's plenty in this drawing that is not measured correctly, because I kind of freehanded everything after I did the hard grid work. But
Wow, I can't believe I can't believe you would do that.
Is it a shortcut?
I did my best.
Damn.
I mean, I always kind of like the look of everything's not exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I don't really enjoy doing like pure perspective personally, just because I find it really stressful. And it gets to the point where it confuses me too much. So I just use it as a guide.
I'm learning so much from this. Just like how you did the floor just now. I was thinking about Draw Detectives and when I do floors, and I was like, oh no, that's a much better way to do floors than what I do. Okay. Noted. Bringing that to my backgrounds.
Let's go. Make Julia's life easier, shall we?
Please.
Make Julia not draw every floorboard 2020.
Please.
Get it trending.
I love this so much. The colors already look so harmonious.
Oh, thank you.
Did you have like a color reference you were using, or were you just kind of like
I was just
freeballing?
kind of eyeballing it.
Yeah, eyeballing, not freeballing.
Freeballing is a
I was
different
just
thing.
Different thing.
Usually am on drawings.
Can't be wearing underwear while you're drawing.
You can do both.
Oh my god.
That cute little toy.
Oh, it's for the dog.
It's a
Yeah.
little doggy toy. Knife dog.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is so good.
Oh, thank you.
It makes me really want to challenge myself to spend longer on a drawing. I feel like I'm always looking for how I can spend the shortest possible amount of time doing anything.
I was really considering not spending a lot of time on this challenge, but like I said, sometimes you just gotta feel something.
Yeah,
Be
totally.
it triumph or back pain. I don't know. I've been doing this in general with my art since being stuck at home all the time of just, I need to push my comfort zones a little bit just because.
Yeah, I mean, that's
because
how you
I
get
can.
better.
And to do the shadow, I did bring the grid back a little bit, just a little bit.
The shadow looks
You
so
coward.
good. It looks so like end of the workday.
Yeah.
The sun's going down.
My favorite scene to light. Anything
Yeah.
else? No, thank you.
Oh, yeah, make some adjustments.
Yeah, and
Get
this
some
is
glow.
just
Glow.
adjustment land.
Damn.
Oh,
That was amazing.
Thank you.
The lighting is so good. That soft, like, airbrush lighting on top of everything. Just to
Yeah.
pop some
Yeah.
lights into
Art as
darkens
heck.
and darks.
You want to add
this
a
is-
cute little lighting? Just use one screen layer with an airbrush.
This is just a poster you can sell now.
yeah, you could, and maybe you should.
Maybe I will.
Hot man
Wow.
PI land.
Amazing.
rules so much.
Yeah, this is so
Thank
good.
you.
Awesome job.
Oh, you
Karina.
still have your little 3-dot color reference.
Oh,
dare.
I think I took that off in the final.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry.
What is this?
Get this
piece
off
is
my
trash.
screen.
Ruins everything. But
It's
yeah,
all I can see.
I had a lot of fun, and I feel like I
Yeah.
learned something, or at least relearned something.
Good.
Hey,
That rules.
Yeah,
Awesome job.
So good.
thank you.
Julia,
Yeah,
you're the last one.
it's me.
Are you ready for Paschetti?
Yeah, I guess so. So I started doing sketches for this a couple of days ago, and I started tail spinning real early because I've done a lot of backgrounds already for the channel. I did all the backgrounds for Draw Detectives, so I wanted to do something really weird. So I did just a metric ton of sketches that I actually really liked, but then I decided that I liked them as illustrations and not so much as like backgrounds. So I'll probably do those in my free time. And then I started tail spinning of like, what makes a background? How do I challenge myself? And then like, what's more important, perspective or mood? Can I do both? And so, I mean, I just kept debating this with Jacob, and then I came to a solution I really liked, and I sat down and I sketched a little bit of it, and I was like, no, this is dumb. And that idea was that I, as a joke, was going to sketch the entire, like, intro village from Skyrim. You're awake, traveler. And just do that.
How did you even think of that?
as a bit.
I love
Because
your
I was
artistic
like-
process.
Helgen. It's Helgen. That's the name of the
yeah.
town.
But because I was like, what's the most unexpected thing that I could do for a background? A joke background. Let's go. But then I didn't, and then I entered a fugue state. I entered a
journey.
fugue state where I combined every sketch into one dumb idea, and I like the idea a lot. I don't like the execution, so I'll probably revisit it.
I hope for this whole explanation, it's just been a slow zoom on your portrait.
yeah.
Yeah.
Should I start playing this?
Start playing the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
So I said that I didn't want to do perspective, and then I immediately did perspective. But I wanted to play with some like geometry and composition. Also, Jacob told me that the one rule was that I wasn't allowed to have people in it. So I put a person in it. But I cheated the person.
So far, this is just a person.
I cheated
Yeah.
the person.
This is mostly a person.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's one of them people walls that you have.
So what happened with me
What the hell's going on here?
So what happened with me is that I wanted to accomplish, for some reason, having Midwest Americana diner plus a Midwest Americana-esque church. And I wanted those aesthetics to meet. So I wanted a Sufjan Stevens meets what's its face? Who's the summertime
Orville Peck.
Orville Peck. I wanted those two aesthetics to align. And that's where I landed.
Julia, I'm so confused right now.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Is this a album art?
No, I just wanted to design a weird diner church.
I love diner church.
A diner church.
So that's what I came up
I
with.
like that idea.
Is the big person like a wall art?
So basically the room has two walls that are open that kind of meet in the middle. So it just goes out into like the environment, you know?
Uh-huh.
So I wanted I was thinking, you know those yeah.
Okay.
You know those chapels, those like shotgun wedding chapels? I wanted like that.
But a diner.
But a diner.
Does that say
I
dunk?
love
It says
it.
drink, but it says drink water.
Oh, I thought it said dunk water.
Dunk water.
Spooshed.
I thought it said dwink.
Wink.
Please.
A
Yeah.
diner church. I thought we were supposed to practice separation of church and steak.
Didn't you make that joke in a different episode?
I don't know.
How would that be possible?
I have a strong recollection of Nathan saying that in another episode, and someone will find it.
Okay.
Probably.
For
If I-
all the comments
well,
to be that episode linked.
It's not my joke. So if I made that in another episode, I hope I credited whoever came up with that joke, but I don't remember
Yeah, that was the
anymore.
whole thing. You like made the joke, we all laughed at it, and you were like, it's actually not my joke. My friend made it, and I stole it. Anyways,
Can we focus?
I'm doing a 2-point perspective here, where the way that I do perspective for these things is that I make 2 pen lines in the paths tool, and I just anchor both of them on a plane, and then I just pivot like the outside angle so that I can get the correct perspective.
that makes sense.
Yeah, so you'll see me just like pulling up the same like little line and like dragging it up and down, and then I'll just do line path.
I mean, I'd eat here.
Is this
Yeah,
like
I
a
would
sign
too.
that's outside?
Yeah, it's a sign that's outside that's telling you to enter this weird place, and then the inside just says drink water. So I wanted it to be like a dual sign of an inside and an outside sign.
Water's not usually what diners advertise because
This
this
is-
doesn't cost anything.
This is a church diner,
That's right.
and it's holy water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so originally I put like this big, because I wanted, I wanted to lean into this weird diner church aesthetic. So originally I put like pray, but then it looked like I was making political commentary. So I changed it to drink, and then I just thought drink water would be very funny. So I put drink water.
This
You
is
know,
completely
hydration.
wild.
If there is any sort of political viewpoint that we express on Drawfee, it's to hydrate.
Yeah, I also wanted to do this style because I don't do this style ever, and I'm not very comfortable with doing like neon lighting. So I wanted to try it out. So you'll see me futz a lot.
What brush are you using right here?
Looks like Kyle's graphite stick too.
Yep, Kyle's graphite stick too. That's that toothy one that I'm using. And then there I just made a mask so that I can push and pull and keep the texture. The eyes were to reference those like awesome weird biblical angels that just have a bajillion and a half eyes. And originally I had wings. So like the walls, the cutouts of the walls were originally where I had drawn wings coming out of the character and going into the room and like wrapping in. But then I decided I wanted to go out into the open because originally there was like a whole temple thing behind it, like some sort of D&D-esque temple. And then I just got rid of it all. And I just made the wings cutouts. So you still had those like holy rays sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
I am mesmerized.
You have so many art thoughts.
Your mind.
I went on
Yeah.
a journey with this one.
You think things that I would never in a million years think of. That's a compliment.
I wanted to do something that I don't do and probably will never
yeah.
do again.
Love that.
That's cool.
Thanks.
That's really cool.
I just wanted it to also be like nighttime and you've wandered into this place that hasn't turned on all the lights yet, but left the diner sign on.
It's so spooky.
Yeah, this is
Yeah. I wanted it to be a little spooky.
Like a noir mystery game location.
I can never escape noir mystery game aesthetic. That is where I live, and I love it. So I wanted to have the
Everything's
indication
glowing.
that there's like a sign on the other side that's also neon.
Yeah.
Here's me trying to figure out what to do with the colors because I wasn't loving it. And I don't love where it landed. I like the idea, but I definitely want to go back and try it again. And I think I'm definitely going to. Because I'm somewhere close to what I want it to be by the
I
end
think
of
this is awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. This is like wild style.
Yeah.
There's that pivoting pen point I was talking about to make those lines. But yeah, that's where I landed. Is this weird diner church?
Julia, this is buck wild.
Hosier, please
Yeah.
take me there.
It's really cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I
I'm
do
just
love
like-
your leaps of
Bazonkers.
logic to get to this concept.
Yeah. I'm like reeling right now.
Yeah.
I told you I tailspinned, and I think I'm still spinning.
I love how different all of our ones were.
Yeah. We all went to wildly different spots.
It just goes to show backgrounds can be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Good job, everybody. This was,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to say it was a lot of fun.
It was
It
educational.
was definitely educational. I
learned
feel
a
like,
lot, and I'd say I had fun at some point.
yeah, I had like a little bit of fun, but also a lot of misery.
At one point in Karina's 8 hours, did she enjoy the experience? Or
Yeah.
at least a moment.
But backgrounds are important,
Yeah.
and it's important to push yourself artistically and get out of your comfort zone and try things you maybe aren't as experienced with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would recommend everybody watching this, you draw a background.
Right
Give
now.
it a shot.
Just have
Draw
at
a
it.
background, and I want to see them. Send them to the Drawfee Twitter.
Send them to Jacob.
Tweet them at the Drawfee Twitter, or tweet them at me specifically.
Yeah.
Tweet them wherever you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just do
show
it.
Show them off.
Yeah.
Show the world what you made.
Yeah, tweet them at your best friend.
Yeah.
Even if after you finish, you look at it and you're like, there's some things I might have done different if I did it again. That's good. You
Yeah.
learned something
It's all good.
and you still finished something also. So
Yeah.
it's both.
Do it all.
Do it
Do
all.
it all. Let us know what you want to see us challenge ourselves with next time. And Karina can spend another 8 hours
Woo!
doing that. We always say we're sorry, but like, man, I don't want to be sorry for this one. This one was great. I guess I'm sorry for Karina's back.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry for
Yeah.
my back too.
There's always something to be sorry about. and
There's
for that,
always something to be sorry
we're sorry.
for.
And this
Yeah.
week it's only that.
Sorry.
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 Sorry.